You can either be a mother or you can be male-centered. It bears repeating. You can either be a mother or you can be male-centered. See, many of us grew up with narcissistic mothers who would, at the first opportunity, jump over our bodies, okay? Our broken, bleeding bodies, okay, to get to a man. Many of us have witnessed the disloyalty in a mother when it comes to the option of a man, the mere presence of a man, making her switch up her whole aura, switch up the way she talks to you. She goes from being nice and, or being her normal self, whatever that normal self is to you, to being hypercritical and to being messed up. I remember going out with my mom. My mom is the biggest pick-me, male-centered woman in the world. Just the biggest one. The biggest one has been ever since she was a young woman. Just the biggest one. And I understand it's born of being mistreated by men as a little girl. And you can read between the lines on that one. I know where it comes from, but the fact remains, she is one. She is a pick-me. She is male-centered. I remember going out with her as a little kid, and I'll never forget it. I was a sensitive kid, which of course is a problem in narcissistic homes. We went to this place to get some peach cobbler for Thanksgiving, okay? It was a day or two before Thanksgiving, probably a day before Thanksgiving. And we went to the store to get this peach cobbler. There's this famous peach cobbler place up in Altadena. It's so good. I'm not sure if it's still open, but everybody in the city knew about it, and it was just the place you went for pies. Great place. Okay, black owned, okay? And we supported that place. But there were a whole bunch of dudes, kind of fresh out of jail, but their cousin works at this place, kind of dudes working there. And I walked in and I had scoliosis as a kid. And I walked in and I don't know what I was doing, but the guy was like, "You walk funny." "You walk funny." One of the workers, the guy behind the register, "You walk funny, you walk funny." And my mom, seeing that was affecting me, was like, "He does walk funny," and started pointing and laughing. And I'm a little kid, like, not knowing this person, so it's hard to take it as a joke. Plus, you're a kid, you're already sensitive. And now my mom is joining in on it. That is a mild example of her pick-meism and her male-centered self. That was the first time I saw that if it's my mom and me and a man becomes involved, stuff changes. And it changes immediately. She will, as water does, change herself into any shape to fit what a man wants. That's a light example. That's when I first realized the phenomenon of the male-centered woman. And I first realized that I, unfortunately, was born to one. Going forward, my mom would basically throw herself at anybody that came around us. My mother literally grabbed a homeless man off the street who rizzed her up, okay? Grabbed a homeless man off the street, brought him to our house and fed him. And you're thinking, oh, that's nice. My mom didn't know this man from Adam. She met him on the street that day and took him home to our house where I was. Now, this man could have been a murderer. He could have been a rapist. He could have been a thief. He could have been anything. He probably was a crackhead. That's probably why we found him where he was. But she brought him in because anything for a man, and she breaks out all the food and gets all the this and gets all that and cooks it up for him and all this. And I'm sitting there dumbfounded like, I don't know this motherfucker. This isn't one of my uncles. I don't know if my stepfather would necessarily approve of this man being here. This is all happening up here because I already knew by this point to keep my mouth shut. You just have this person in our house, not a thought for the safety of your child or even yourself. You just have this man in our house. And the crazy thing about it, the bitch about it, is my mom never cooked. My mom, if she cooked, it was once in the bluest of moons. And if she cooked, she made the same shit, the same bullshit over and over again. Ground beef and Mr. Ben's white rice. That is an 8-minute meal. And you had to convince her to throw something else in. This is a lazy person. She did not cook. She did not clean. So she breaks out her Julia Child, Chef Boyardee, Emerald Agassi, duds out and cooks this man a whole meal. Meanwhile, my childhood was spent running the streets waiting for the ice cream truck. Here's a few dollars. There are many a times I ate nothing but sunflower seeds for the day as a child. There are many a times I ate nothing but iceberg lettuce with water on them, cold water. That was my specialty. I found it to be refreshing. There are many days when that happened, and it wasn't because we were poor. My stepfather worked for IBM. My mother worked for the city of Pasadena when she did work, which was rare. But when she did work, she had very high-paying jobs. We were upper middle class by anyone's estimation. In hindsight, we were. My father was off making money. She was home far more frequently than him and never did any cooking. And so this man who was not your husband, who you find on the street, he must have been a good-looking bastard. I can't remember the man's face. You have this man in your house and you are cooking for him, and you will not cook for your own child. You will not cook for your own child. Let's go further with the examples. These are all things I was gathering as indications, as just a little guy, a little child, thinking, that's weird. Let's jump ahead to when my egg donor left my stepfather and we first moved into a place, okay? My mom went on ahead and after 2 days of knowing a man, brought him into the house. A day later, she attempted to sleep with him on the floor while we were in the same room, my brother and I. And this was just an indication of how male-centered she was and how much she just had to have a man at all costs. I say this not to body shame people, but my mom was a good-looking woman. This man was fat, bald, smelly, and he breathed hard. And he had some sort of condition where he never got his adult teeth. So you have this fat fuck walking around with baby teeth looking weird as fuck, grunting and farting every 5 steps. And you brought him home and tried to fuck him in front of your children. Why? Because it was a man who showed interest. I guess she felt like her looks were fading and she was like, let me go ahead and bring him in and give him some. The next thing you know, I went from having a home that was somewhat stable for the first time because my abusive stepfather wasn't there, to me being woken up at the crack of dawn to go pick this man up from work, this man I just met, to go pick this man up from work. You gonna throw your kids in the car to go pick up this man you know nothing about. Do you know that it is abnormal to introduce children to a partner that early? Do you know that you are supposed to vet the partner, the person you're dating? I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care who you're dating. You are supposed to look into that person before you even bring them around your kids, because how do you know you can trust them or not? My mother is a survivor of SA, childhood SA, okay? Assault. And you should be able to figure out what that first letter stands for. And she never thought it was necessary, relevant, or important to vet who she brought around me and my brother. She is entirely male-centered. It overrides any feelings she had, if she even had any feelings of protection toward her child. Every man that she brought into her life was allowed to disrespect me. The fat motherfucker with the baby teeth was allowed to disrespect me. I caught them having sex in my bed a week after she tried to have sex with both me and my brother in the room. I caught them doing that. That is a man that does not respect your child. That is a man who is there to get one thing and one thing only. That thing between your legs. That thing that you lead your life behind. That thing that means that the pleasure of which means more to you than the safety of your children. I could never imagine meeting a woman, her having kids, and knowing the kids are in the room and me trying to hook up. I could never imagine that. I could never feel more shame than if they walked in on me and their mother. I could never ever bring myself to be in a child's room and be like, I'm gonna fuck her here. Right here. I could never do that. But when you're dealing with a male-centered mother, anything goes. Anything goes. My mom also brought felons in the house who disrupted my brother's sleep schedule and fucked up his ability to wake up for school on time. And when I said something, I was the problem. I became identified as the problem. And this, again, was another man who got to come into the house and disrespect me off top. The one unifying principle in my mom's men that she chose was their ability to disrespect and dislike me openly. You cannot be male-centered and be a mother. A mother is a protector and a nurturer. A mother thinks ahead. A mom's not going to be a stupid bitch who puts herself in a position to have a strange man in her house who could kill her and her child without breaking a sweat. A mom would think 5 steps ahead about what if. What if? Because if that went left, my mom would not have been able to overpower him. I certainly wouldn't have been able to overpower him. We would have been on the news. She put us in many situations where we could have been on the fucking news. You cannot be male-centered and be a woman. If you look in nature, when you look in nature, right, you see everything you need to know about what life should be. Every time you turn on National Geographic or any of these natural programs, you know what you see? A pride of lions. You see a father lion with the great big glorious mane, and you see all the female lions, you know, who do all the hunting and all that, and the child rearing and all that. You know what you don't see? Tolerance for bullshit. The mother lioness will straight up run up and slap the shit out of a full-grown male lion that could easily kill her. She will run up on him and slap the shit out of him, and then all of her sisters will do the same. Because no matter how big he is, no matter if he's the king of the jungle or whatever it is, her first mandate is that cub, to protect that child, that litter of cubs. She doesn't care about being in his good graces when it comes to, you're fucking with my cub, I'm gonna come smack you in the face right now. How come an animal understands that, but our mothers did not? You cannot be male-centered and be a mother. You have to choose one. As a young woman or as a woman of any age, there's nothing wrong with you liking a man. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to be close to a man. There's nothing wrong with you liking sex with a man. That is a very natural, normal, and beautiful thing. But when you become a mother, none of those things can supersede your role as a mother. And too many of us have suffered as a result of you bitches being unable to make that distinction. I once gave my mom the coldest but realest advice. And what I told her is, you should have never been a mother. You should have just stayed a whore. I said it just like that. Because if you had just stayed a whore, then you could focus on the things you're good at. Fucking, shopping, makeup, fucking, shopping, makeup, fucking, bullshit, your appearance. If you had stayed, if you had chosen to not become a mom, which it's a choice, nobody held her down and made it happen, you could have still had access to all those things, and you would have been able to ride the cock carousel until your looks faded. And you would have had a hell of a lot more enjoyment out of life than having to nurture and rear children and actually be a full-grown woman. And before anybody makes an accusation of misogyny or this being anti-woman, understand there are female-centered dads too, and we're going to talk about them in the next video. But right now we're talking about these trollops, these streetwalkers who cosplay as mothers. And ultimately what you're going to produce is one of two things. You're going to produce men who think that they're entitled to do whatever they want to do as it relates to a woman, which is obviously bad. Or you're going to produce daughters who feel that they should do everything they need to do for a man, bend over backwards for a man, everything for a man, and understand it's generational. If your mom was a pick-me, your grandma was a pick-me. If your grandma was a pick-me and male-centered, your great-grandma was, and so on and so forth, all the way back probably to the Stone Age. You come from a lineage of pick-me's. You come from a lineage of bitches with no self-respect. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. You come from a lineage of bitches with no self-respect. And really, if you look at it and you scratch the top off of it, no loyalty. You can't be a person who's a parent when you have no loyalty. How are you going to be loyal to your child? They're only loyal to what they can get. And to the men who like to deal with these male-centered pick-me's, don't feel like the man because you got her jumping through hoops and she's doing everything and she's, you know, my man, doing all that crap that insecure guys like you absolutely need, because you can't deal with someone who could be, well, look, we all want feminine women. We all do. But you can't deal with a woman who can also speak her mind and have a little bit of self-esteem in her. That's why I call you insecure. That's why you're fuckboys. But to all you guys who feel flattered by that, understand, all you are is a dick to her. All she needs is a dick in the bed next to her so she could feel real. There's nothing special about yours. There's nothing special about you, because this is a whore's mentality. One of scarcity and lust. So if you up and leave and take your dick and go home, another dick will show up and she'll treat him the same way. You're not special. And you'll never be special because you choose low tier women. And God help you if you choose these low tier women and they have children and you decide that as an insecure loser, you're probably a loser. You probably live off the woman in your 40s and your 50s. You're probably a loser. Okay? What you have to understand is you choosing to take all your existential dread out on those kids is a tag team effort that destroys people. Destroys how people relate to men. Destroys how people relate to women. You destroy people. Male-centered pick-me sluts, okay? And men who choose them because they're insecure sluts are the reason that misogynists are made, because little boys look and see how the mother is acting like a trollop and acting like a streetwalker. He is also simultaneously seeing how the mother is allowing this man to disrespect him. He is seeing her lack of loyalty to him. He is seeing her allegiance to dick over him. He is assigning that value to all women slowly in his head, and when he grows up, that's how he's gonna treat him. Just like the fuckboy treated his mother. Only the underlying thing isn't just gonna be insecurity, it's gonna be hatred of a woman. It's gonna be hatred of a woman. And that never leads to good things, does it? In men, in young, angry men. Hatred of a woman ends to a lot of bad things, a lot of crime scenes, a lot of cold case files, shit you and I read about on the daily. That's where it leads to. The other effect of it is you produce man haters. You produce misandrous, I hate everything about a man. Oh, are you a man? Oh, why would a man be here? Bullshit. Listen, every time I go on the internet, what I see is young women essentially bashing men off top simply just because they're men. Just the one popular saying is, but why would a man even be there? Why would a man be there? Why would a man be there? Because people of all genders can be everywhere. And I can't help but think that, they're trying to be edgy. They're trying to be whatever. They're trying to, colleges told them certain things that may or may not be true or accurate, or it has mischaracterized certain things, And I also understand a rightful hatred of a lot of types of men. I dislike a lot of types of men. But their attitude and their energy is fuck all men. And that's incorrect too. They're fucked up and sexist too. Because I already know that when you call for help, you're probably going to call a man. So they need to wake up to their hypocrisy. But that comes from not just feminism or whatever people want to blame on it. That comes from the male-centered woman and the fuckboy she chose. Because she's like, men ain't shit. You lived off my mom and you talk shit to me. And you probably tried to do some inappropriate shit to me because you're not my dad, you're not invested, and this whore just brought somebody in without vetting him. This is the effect of the male-centered mother. You can either be a mother or you can be a male-centered person. Point blank period. End the conversation.